Imagine standing at the edge of a battlefield, not one painted in blood and banners, but in silence. The enemies are invisible. Fear, doubt, conformity, and the soft voice of comfort whispering, "Stay where you are." Around you, there is no army, no allies. The air hums with stillness, and the truth pierces through the fog like steel. If you wish to rise, you must first learn to walk alone. Most people flee from that kind of silence. They crave noise, validation, and constant reassurance that they are doing well. They seek warmth in the crowd, even when that crowd is lost. But the Stoic warrior, the one who walks the harder path, knows that solitude is not punishment. It is purification. It is the forge where strength is made and illusions are burned away. Every human being, at some point, faces this inner call to step away from the herd. It doesn't come with trumpets or prophecy. It arrives in quiet discontent, in a moment when you realize that the path you're on no longer belongs to you. Perhaps it's the weight of unrealized potential pressing on your chest, or the sense that your spirit is being dulled by routine, comfort, and compromise. That is the summons of solitude, the voice telling you that something greater awaits beyond the noise of the world. But solitude is terrifying precisely because it strips away all masks. When you walk alone, there is no one left to blame, no excuses, no distractions to hide behind. The silence reflects your weaknesses like a mirror. You meet your fears not as abstract ideas, but as living shadows that breathe in your ear. Many turn back at this point. They drown the discomfort with entertainment, consumption, or false busyness. They rejoin the crowd and tell themselves, "I'm just being practical." Yet the Stoic warrior does not seek ease. He seeks clarity. He knows that to win the inner war, he must first confront himself without anesthesia. To walk alone is not to abandon the world, but to master oneself so that when one returns to it, one is no longer ruled by it. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That mastery begins not in conquest over others, but in the quiet, disciplined confrontation with one's own chaos. It is in solitude that you see the architecture of your mind, the scaffolding of habits, desires, and beliefs that shape who you are. When you remove the noise, what remains? Who remains? The Stoic warrior chooses solitude deliberately. He turns isolation into instruction. The moments of loneliness become training grounds for resilience, perspective, and calm detachment. He learns to stand alone emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, not because he despises connection, but because he refuses to depend on it. Modern life makes this choice harder than ever. The world is addicted to stimulation and noise. Solitude has become almost scandalous. People measure their worth by attention, likes, followers, validation. But attention is a poor substitute for understanding. In the digital crowd, identity becomes a costume stitched together from borrowed opinions. To walk alone is to tear that costume apart, to be naked before truth. It is brutal, but it is freedom. When you begin to walk alone, everything external starts to lose its grip. Judgment, rejection, misunderstanding. You no longer crave the applause of others because your compass points inward. You measure yourself not by comfort but by alignment with your principles. You start living by your own laws. And this is where the transformation begins. The Stoic warrior realizes that solitude is not the end of the journey. It's the initiation. The loneliness you feel is not absence but a signal that you're crossing the threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. You rise from the silence not weaker, but sharpened, not detached but defined. And in that quiet emergence, a fire begins to burn. A conviction that from this moment forward, you will not wait for the world's permission to evolve. You will walk alone. When the Stoic warrior steps into solitude, he quickly learns that the battle was never out there. It was always within. The true war is not fought with swords or strategies, but with thoughts, impulses, and the quiet tremors of the mind that seek to betray him. The inner war is relentless because it never sleeps. You can leave the battlefield of men, but you cannot leave yourself. And so, the Stoic warrior must develop a discipline sharper than any blade, the discipline of the inner life. In the stillness, he meets his enemies face to face. fear that whispers of failure, desire that burns for distraction, and ego that craves to be seen. These enemies are ancient. They wear many masks, but their goal is the same: to make him forget who commands the self. This is where Stoicism becomes more than philosophy. It becomes training. The Stoic warrior does not run from pain or pleasure. He studies them. He dissects every impulse before allowing it to take root. He observes his thoughts like a watchful sentry at the gates of the mind. Every reaction is an intruder to be inspected. Why am I angry? Why do I desire this? Who benefits if I give in? Through discipline, the warrior begins to separate what is within his control from what is not. That is the first and most vital law of his war. He learns that most suffering comes not from events themselves but from the mind's judgment of them. The Stoic warrior trains to see things as they are, without distortion, without indulgence. The modern world is a trap of reaction. People are addicted to outrage, constantly pulled by forces they cannot govern. They confuse opinion for truth and comfort for happiness. But the Stoic warrior walks another path. He withdraws his consent from chaos. He chooses where his attention goes, and in doing so, he reclaims power over his own mind. This is not an easy conquest. It is exhausting, even maddening at times. But every small victory counts. Each time he resists the pull of emotional reaction, he strengthens his inner fortress. Each time he endures discomfort with calm, he sharpens the blade of self-command. Slowly, he becomes untouchable. In this discipline, the Stoic warrior learns a paradox. To win the inner war, one must surrender, not to weakness but to truth. He must accept reality as it is, not as he wishes it to be. He must lay down the fantasy of control over external outcomes and embrace absolute command over his response. That is the highest power a human can possess. The ancient philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words are not comfort. They are a command. To live by them is to strip away the layers of complaint and self-pity until only the unbreakable remains. Every morning, the Stoic warrior sharpens his awareness like a sword. He visualizes hardship, loss, and challenge, not to invite suffering but to immunize himself against it. When difficulty arrives, he does not flinch. He has already met it in his mind. The practice of negative visualization becomes his armor, and gratitude becomes his counterattack. Through this daily discipline, he discovers something extraordinary. Peace is not the absence of struggle but mastery within it. The inner war does not end, it evolves. The warrior learns to fight with calmness, to act with reason even when emotion demands chaos. His mind becomes a citadel that no storm can breach. And as this discipline deepens, he begins to see the world differently. What once seemed like opposition now becomes opportunity. Every insult becomes a lesson in restraint. Every setback becomes training for endurance. Every loss becomes a test of wisdom. The Stoic warrior realizes that the war within is not meant to destroy him. It is meant to refine him. The discipline that once felt like imprisonment becomes liberation. He is no longer a prisoner of circumstance, emotion, or desire. He stands firm, unshaken, ready. And in that readiness, a new truth begins to dawn. Solitude and discipline are not enough. To rise higher, the Stoic warrior must now embrace the next phase, the trial of endurance, where pain and purpose meet face to face. Pain has a way of revealing what words cannot. It strips pretense. It dissolves illusion. It shows with brutal honesty what a person is truly made of. The Stoic warrior understands this, and so he does not flee from pain. He welcomes it as the most honest teacher life has to offer. In the trial of endurance, the warrior learns that suffering is not the enemy. Weakness disguised as comfort is. Most men break not because the world is too hard, but because they have forgotten how to be hard themselves. They have built lives padded with distractions, mistaking comfort for safety. But safety breeds decay. The Stoic warrior refuses to rot in ease. He steps willingly into the crucible of hardship, not for glory, but for mastery. Every challenge becomes a trial, an opportunity to temper the will, strengthen the mind, and test the depth of conviction. He understands that endurance is not just about surviving pain. It's about transmuting it into power. There is a moment in every battle where the body screams to stop, where the spirit trembles under the weight of exhaustion, doubt, and defeat. Most surrender there. The Stoic warrior does not. He endures, not because it feels noble, but because he has made a pact with himself. I will not yield to anything that seeks to own me. This endurance is not reckless. It is not blind persistence. It is intelligent suffering, the kind that looks pain in the eye and says, "Teach me." The Stoic warrior studies discomfort like a scholar studies truth. He dissects his own agony to understand its root. Is it fear, pride, resistance to change? In that inquiry, pain becomes purpose. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This is the foundation of Stoic endurance. Every hardship, every wound, every setback becomes a repetition in the gymnasium of the soul. To flinch from difficulty is to weaken the very muscle that defines one's humanity. The modern world has sterilized pain. It medicates it, masks it, edits it out of sight. But the Stoic warrior knows that comfort without struggle is hollow. The one who avoids pain avoids growth. The one who endures pain with wisdom finds liberation in its ashes. Endurance for the Stoic warrior is not passive waiting. It is active resilience. It is standing firm in the storm, not because you enjoy the rain, but because you know that storms refine what sunshine never could. He walks through rejection, failure, and loss with quiet resolve. The world may think him cold, but beneath that calm exterior burns an unbreakable flame. Pain also purifies values. When everything is stripped away, the warrior learns what truly matters. Wealth, status, and comfort fade into insignificance. What remains are the virtues: courage, integrity, temperance, and wisdom. These are his weapons. These are his trophies. And so, when the world collapses around him, as it inevitably does, he does not collapse with it. He stands amid ruin with a heart that does not beg for pity. His strength comes not from fortune, but from the discipline of having suffered well. Endurance is not about becoming numb. It is about becoming invincible through understanding. The Stoic warrior feels deeply, but he does not drown in emotion. He faces pain without resentment, loss without bitterness, and uncertainty without despair. His faith is not in fate's mercy but in his own endurance. And through this relentless trial, something begins to shift. The warrior no longer fears pain. He respects it. He begins to see that endurance is not merely survival, it is transformation. What breaks the weak polishes the strong. The scars become scripture. The suffering becomes sacred. Endurance is the fire that forges solitude into strength and discipline into wisdom. But this fire, once mastered, births a new realization. True victory is not found in resistance alone, but in rising beyond resistance, by learning to walk untouched through chaos, detached from outcome, yet deeply alive within it. This leads the Stoic warrior to his next ascension, the realm of detachment and clarity, where emotion bows before reason, and the warrior learns the ultimate art, to remain unshaken by all things. There comes a point in the Stoic warrior's path when endurance alone is no longer enough. Strength without clarity becomes rigidity. Power without perspective becomes tyranny. To rise beyond mere survival, the warrior must learn the most delicate of arts, detachment. Detachment is often misunderstood. The untrained mind sees it as indifference, as if the Stoic warrior feels nothing, cares for nothing, lives behind walls of stone. But true detachment is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery of it. It is to experience emotion without becoming enslaved by it. To see clearly, even when storms rage within. After enduring his trials, the Stoic warrior begins to notice a pattern. Suffering often flows not from pain itself, but from the stories the mind builds around pain. Loss hurts, yes, but clinging to what cannot be controlled multiplies the suffering. Success feels sweet, but attaching identity to victory breeds fear of failure. Every joy turns to anxiety when one cannot let it go. Thus, the Stoic warrior learns to love without possession, to fight without hatred, to strive without obsession. He remains in the world, but not ruled by it. The opinions of others lose their power. Praise and insult become two sides of the same wind. He learns to be unmoved not because he is cold, but because he sees both as irrelevant to his purpose. The power of detachment lies in perception. When the warrior no longer confuses what he wants to happen with what is happening, he sees reality as it truly is. And in that vision, peace emerges, not the fragile peace of quiet circumstances, but the invincible peace of understanding. He begins to live from a still center, observing the chaos of life as a river that flows around him. He does not resist it, nor does he drown in it. He navigates it with composure, guided by reason and grounded in virtue. Detachment is not retreat. It is command. To be detached is to wield emotion as a weapon, not as a master. It is to feel anger without violence, sorrow without despair, joy without dependency. This clarity turns chaos into order and weakness into control. The philosopher Zeno of Citium, founder of Stoicism, once said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." This is the heart of detachment. The Stoic warrior's conquest is not the world's submission but his own serenity. To rule one's emotions is the highest empire. To be unmoved by fate is the deepest freedom. The modern world tries to sell clarity as a product, through mindfulness, technology, or self-help. But the Stoic warrior knows that clarity is not bought. It is built. It comes from disciplined thought, ruthless self-awareness, and constant reflection. Every day he questions his motives, his judgments, his desires. He cleans the lens of perception until it shines with truth. This detachment does not make him passive. On the contrary, it makes his action precise. When emotion no longer clouds the mind, decisions become clean. The warrior no longer acts out of impulse, but from principle. Every word, every choice, every silence becomes deliberate. He learns to do what must be done, without noise, without apology. And because he no longer clings to outcome, he moves through failure and success with the same composure. When life grants him victory, he bows in gratitude, not pride. When it hands him loss, he accepts it with grace, not despair. For he knows that both are temporary, and neither defines him. In the art of detachment, the Stoic warrior becomes something greater than merely strong. He becomes clear. His mind is a blade honed by reflection, his heart a flame unshaken by the wind. And yet, the journey does not end here. Clarity is not the summit. It is the preparation for it. The warrior, now serene and steadfast, stands ready to meet his final trial, not of endurance or detachment, but of destiny itself. For the last step in the way of the Stoic warrior is not to fight, but to transcend, to rise above both victory and defeat, to win alone, completely and silently. There is a rare silence that follows the final battle, not the silence of exhaustion, but of revelation. The Stoic warrior stands there, alone, not because he shunned the world, but because he has outgrown it. The crowd that once surrounded him, the noise that once shaped him, now seem distant echoes of a former life. In solitude, he has not lost anyone. He has found himself. Victory, as he now understands it, is not a moment of applause or conquest. It is the quiet mastery of the self. The world worships winners who stand on podiums. The Stoic warrior worships no one, not even himself. His triumph is invisible because it exists in the unseen realm of the spirit. He does not rise to be celebrated. He rises to be free. Freedom is the true prize of the warrior's path. It is the liberation from dependency on praise, comfort, validation, and even fate. The Stoic warrior has become his own foundation. He moves through the world as a complete being, governed not by circumstances, but by choice. Every step, every breath, every act is rooted in alignment with his principles. But make no mistake, to win alone is not to isolate oneself in arrogance or bitterness. It is to carry oneself with a quiet dignity that asks for nothing and fears nothing. The Stoic warrior's solitude is not emptiness. It is fullness. the overflowing stillness of a soul that needs no approval to exist with purpose. He has learned to stand unshaken amid praise and blame, success and failure, love and loss. What once pulled him apart now merely passes through him. He has become like the mountain, weathered, unmoving, and eternal in its calm. This victory is the culmination of all the trials that came before. Solitude taught him to see himself. Discipline taught him to govern himself. Endurance taught him to respect pain. Detachment taught him to see clearly. Now, rising alone, he unites them all into one simple truth. The only battle worth fighting is the one within, and the only enemy worth defeating is the self that resists growth. The Stoic warrior no longer chases the world. He attracts it through his stillness. His power is not loud. It is gravitational. People sense it in his composure, in the way he speaks little but means everything he says. His silence carries authority because it was forged in struggle, solitude, and understanding. He does not seek followers, yet others follow. He does not seek love, yet love finds him. He does not chase success, yet success drifts naturally into his orbit. Why? Because the one who walks alone in truth becomes a beacon for those still lost in noise. This is not mysticism. It is mastery of presence. The Stoic warrior's mind is not chained by what was or what may come. He lives completely in the now, aware, awake, and anchored. He has learned the art of calm action, of doing without overthinking, of living without endless wanting. He moves through life as one moves through water, fluid, effortless, unstoppable. In this final stage, he recognizes that winning alone is not the end but the beginning of true service. To walk alone was necessary for growth. To stand alone is proof of it. But to live from that strength, to bring light into a chaotic world without seeking reward, that is transcendence. The philosopher Nietzsche once wrote, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." The Stoic warrior understands this now. He does not explain himself to the crowd, nor does he lower his wings to fit among them. His solitude has become his altitude, his independence his strength. He no longer walks to prove himself. He walks because his soul demands it. He no longer fights to conquer, he fights to refine. He no longer wins for glory, he wins for truth. And when he finally looks upon his path, marked with scars, silence, and solitude, he does not see suffering, he sees ascension. Every fall was a lesson, every loss a liberation, every lonely night a call from destiny whispering, "Rise alone, win alone." For the Stoic warrior, victory is not something achieved, it is something become. He has walked through fire, faced the void, mastered the self, and now stands unshaken at the summit of his being. Sovereign, silent, eternal.